Hello and welcome to episode 44 of the Arena Regulars podcast. I'm Zach.
And I'm Jeff.
And we're your source for weekly Drunken Magic the Gathering Arena content.
Yeah, basically we're regular dudes drinking regular beer and talking about magic, usually Magic the Gathering Arena, but not always.
Yeah, because today we are actually doing a Drunken Vorthos episode all about the Innistrad backstory, if you didn't know about it. So you're going to learn a lot about it right now.
That's right.
So I hope that you want to learn about it.
Yeah, they'll learn some stuff.
You're going to learn, okay, you're going to learn some stuff. Hopefully it's all right.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think we could shoot for 100% right here, Zach.
Oh, no. Never will we shoot for 100%.
It's like most of the stuff we say is right. I'll be happy with that.
Yeah, I think that's true. And as long as it's mostly articulate and not completely slurred, but you never know.
Right.
But first, each week we both bring a beer, we drink our own, then drink each other's, rate them on a scale of bronze to mythic, and we're not doing that this week. Hey!
Nope.
Nope, not this week. We've got another silver series for you. We just liked the first one a couple weeks ago so much that we're doing it again.
Yeah. Plus, it feels like it just fits so well with the Drunken Vorthos episodes, which are a little less structured.
Yeah, exactly.
Should I say even less structured?
Even less structured than the normal ones, I guess. So, Jeff, what is a Silver Series episode?
Okay, so longtime listeners of the show will know that we rate beers on a scale of bronze to mythic. These are the tiers in Arena. And silver tier usually denotes a beer that is essentially a macro beer, or it could be a micro brew that reminds you of a macro brew that, doesn't have a ton going on. There's nothing fancy really with it. And so a silver series is where we bring all silver beers because we want to show some love to the silver beers too. We don't discriminate.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, like, you can love a silver beer and also just know, yeah, but it's still a silver. Like, it's not blowing me away. But they're all like ones that I go back to often when I want to drink lots of beer. So
totally. And you could love it and just be like, I know it's not the best beer in the world or whatever, but
exactly.
I like it for whatever reason that may be.
So tonight we have 4 silver beers, which you don't know what they are yet, but we'll slowly tell you as we open them. And then at the end of the episode, we are going to rate them in the different 1, 2, 3, and 4 tiers of silver. And and then maybe we'll have a gauntlet at the end after we do all of the silver beers, which is a long way to go.
Yeah.
So
if we ever do all of them.
Well, that's the goal, kind of. That's basically the goal. Anyway, so the first beer that is on tap this week for our silver series is going to be... Jeff, do you want to say?
Stella Artois.
Yeah, Stella. I'm happy with this one. I'm excited to be doing Stella on the show.
Yeah, so we noticed last time we did all North American beers, so I guess this is our international edition of the Silver Series.
It sure is. So Stella is a Belgian beer. It's 5%, and actually it was founded in the year 1366. Wow.
Zach, you said 13. Is that what you meant?
13, yeah.
13?
13. That's a long time ago.
Coming up on their friggin' 700-year anniversary.
Yeah.
Pretty soon.
Like, what the fuck?
In my lifetime, that will happen.
Did anyone know that this beer was that fucking old? Because I had no idea.
I thought it was a typo when you wrote this down. I was like, it's probably 1866 or something.
But you look at the can, and it definitely says... Well, it's probably because it says Anno 1366. So I don't really... I just like, oh, those are numbers.
Yeah. I don't know what that denotes.
Yeah, but on the can it even says over 600 years of Belgian brewing. Okay. Anyway,
that's awesome.
Happy to have it. Excited for that. All right, Magic news. We had the MPL and Rivals Gauntlet this last weekend. It was finished, so finally we have every single player that was gonna be at Worlds. They've been picked. They haven't been picked. They've won their spot, their ticket. They have tickets. The
stage is set for the Final Fantasy.
There you go. Yes, the stage is set for our Final Fantasy. So stay tuned for that episode where we pick players for the World Championship. But Jeff, should we just tell everyone who's going to be at Worlds?
Yeah, sure. There aren't that many of them. So I guess we'll start with the first 2 to get in. That's Paulo Vitor Rosa and Andre Strosky.
And then after that, it was Eli Cassis and Stanislav Sivka.
Followed up was Seth Manfield and Gabriel Nassif.
Then Matt Sperling and Yuta Takahashi.
Sam Pardee and Noriyuki Mori,
Arne Huschenbett and then Kaisuke Sato.
And just recently, this past weekend, Jean-Emmanuel Desprat and Rei Sato.
And finally, Yoshihiko Ikawa and Jan Merkel. Congratulations to everyone that won this weekend. And I am a little sad Kai Buddha did not make it in because he had just a really great weekend. I didn't watch really any of it, but I was following along with the scores, and I was kind of pulling for Kai a little bit.
Yeah, me too. Actually, I wanted him to just keep his best player of all time streak going.
That would have been cool. But also, we apparently have a historic arena open this weekend. I didn't know that was going to happen. Okay.
Yeah. Thanks, Twitter, I guess, for the info there.
Telling us. There wasn't really a big announcement, but hey, there's an arena open, I think, on September 11th to 12th.
Yeah. Normally we'd give you guys a prep episode, all the dirty deets you need to know for that, but honestly, I don't know if I have any advice to give about the current historic metagames.
I have some advice. My advice is don't play Merfolk. And
there you go. You heard it here. Probably not first, folks.
Probably not. That's it. That's all I got to tell you. Don't know a ton about historic because it's still fucking crazy right now.
Yeah, everything's all over the place.
Everything's all over the place. All right, talking about all over the place, Jeff, do you want to just jump right into talking about Innistrad?
Oh yeah, that's what these episodes are all about.
All right, so basically we're going to do our best to try to give you the most knowledge about the story of Innistrad before the new sets come out. So maybe you have a leg up because we have been to Innistrad 2 other times in Magic's history. So it might be helpful to know a little bit about what happened.
Yeah, and there should be some returning characters. I mean, we're already seeing a bunch of them being spoiled, so it's kind of just fun if you know who these people are and what the kind of gist of the plane is in general.
Exactly. So broad strokes, you probably already know this, but Innistrad is like the gothic horror plane. So it's full of vampires and werewolves. There's ghosts and ghouls and humans to be attacked. There's demons and devils. There's also some dragons, actually, so look out for those. But yeah, it's just kind of like horror movies come to life.
Yeah, exactly. It was designed top down from that motif, right?
Exactly. So this is the first set that ever had transform cards because they wanted to get the idea of transforming from a human into a werewolf. So that's why we have flip cards, real double-faced cards for the first time. That's huge.
That is pretty cool. I mean, those were a huge hit. Everyone loved them. So
yeah, and we are now currently in the year of flip cards. So
that's right. Yeah, they became such a staple of the game that I can't even remember the last time there wasn't a standard that had flip cards in it.
Exactly, at least one, right? So.
Yeah.
Wow. All right. So as far as Innistrad goes, we're going to kind of try our best to start with original Innistrad and move through it. But there's going to be a bunch of jumping around because obviously there's a bunch of things that happened. Yeah, should we just kind of how do we start this? Do we just start with the characters that are on Innistrad? Probably.
I mean, I guess the absolute basic is that it's at its core, it's a battle of light versus dark.
Yes.
Right?
Okay.
That's what kind of the whole plane. Yeah, it's this gothic horror inspired plane, but the story or the struggle of the plane is that there's the light, which is pretty much humans.
Yeah.
And then there's, I guess, angels as well. And then there's the dark, which is kind of mostly vampires and werewolves.
Yeah, but also some demons to fuck some shit up and.
And the spirits, you gotta have your ghosts.
That's true. But some of the ghosts are good, though.
Yeah, the ghosts are kind of on either side. It depends who died, I suppose.
Yeah.
Who died and who brought them back.
A lot of it is humans versus everyone.
Right. And then the angels are the protectors of the humans. Without the angels, the humans would just get overrun by these kind of more powerful, werewolves and vampires and whatnot.
Yeah, so talking about the angels, because they are the ones that are protecting these humans from the evil forces, they tend to kind of become religious figures, kind of like messiahs.
Yeah, exactly.
Of sorts.
Yeah.
So I don't know, actually, this is a great question to start with. We know the history of Avacyn and stuff, but the other angels were just around, right? They've just been kind of there. Because essentially angels are mana. There are embodiments of mana, basically.
Right, and the demons are the dark version of that.
Yes.
Right, which will come up a bit later. We talk about Avacyn, but
Exactly. But the starting angels are kind of like Sigarda and Bruna and Gisela, and there's another one. There's the black lined one, Lisa. She just got spoiled recently, but she was around originally.
I haven't seen that spoiler actually.
All right. Well, she's a really good card. We'll talk about spoilers next week, so you'll see that.
Tune in next week.
Exactly. But as far as like the beginnings of kind of early Innistrad has a lot to do with the Markov vampire family. So you've probably heard about Soren Markov because he's, well, a really big character in the story.
Yeah.
He's a planeswalker. He's in a lot of different planes. He goes around. He's also one of the oldest planeswalkers like ever, and so that also means he's like the oldest vampire, one of them. But his grandfather is Edgar Markov, who's like, that's a commander card, but
yeah, if you've played Commander, you're probably familiar.
Yeah, and there's something with Edgar Markov. He like was trying to figure out how to. I don't know if he was a vampire originally or what happened. I think he was. I don't. But this story's strange. So basically, he wanted to know how to live forever. But I was under the impression that vampires always live forever. Is that how your kind of idea of vampires are?
I mean, unless something intervened to kill them.
Yeah,
I thought they didn't die of like old age.
Yeah, exactly. So they're eternal. They don't. Yeah. But anyway, so he was trying to figure out how to make sure he could do that. So then he talked to some demon that I don't remember his name. And so then the demon's like, oh, you have to capture an angel and then suck its blood. So then he went with his bros and they're like, hey, let's go get this angel. And then they sucked that angel's blood. And then for some reason that made them super strong and like crazy powerful and have like blood magic kind of. So that's part of why the Markov family is so strong.
So the demon just like gave advice and it worked.
Yeah, that's basically what I found. Like it was like, yeah, hey.
It's not usually how demon advice goes.
Exactly. Usually it's pretty bad, but like in this case, I guess he was doing something evil. So the demon's like, hey, it's cool.
I guess he was fighting. Yeah, the demons hates angels. So he's like, hey, if you could kill one of these angels, I don't know, probably something good will happen.
You'll probably get superpowers or whatever. And so like Soren is like the only planeswalker vampire, really. And his spark ignited when he turned to a vampire, because technically he's Edgar Markov's son, but I don't think he's like a son through, or not son. Sorry, he's Edgar Markov's grandson. So the Edgar Markov's like the granddaddy of vampires. But Soren, I don't know if he was like born into the family or he was turned into the family. You know what I mean? Because like
it's hard with vampires because it's like,
can vampires have babies?
I don't actually know.
In Twilight they have a baby, so maybe does that count? Is that canon? Yeah. I don't know if that's canon.
Twilight canon.
But anyway, during Soren Markov's turn, his spark ignited and he plane shifted, he planeswalked away. So that's just a little backstory to him. But he's super old, and basically, do you want to talk about what he wants on the plane of Innistrad?
Yeah, so what he realized is that if they kill all the humans, if darkness wins the struggle, vampires need blood essentially, and so they need something for their bloodlust, and they would just turn against each other. And so if you destroyed all the humans, the vampires would destroy themselves. And so he realized that he can never actually let either side kind of win this battle of light and dark. It's important to the balance of the plane that neither side ever totally wins.
Yeah.
And so that's why he created Avacyn. So he created an angel of light, the most powerful angel, to watch over the humans, basically.
Yeah, and she's basically programmed to do one thing, and it's to protect purity, essentially, or like the innocent, to protect the innocence. Which becomes really important in the future. But so she is just around, and she's like the queen of angels, basically, and everyone's like, "Holy shit!" And she's like Jesus. She's like the Jesus of angels.
Yeah, she's the most badass angel.
Yeah, and she's like the Messiah to every human, to the point where like so they have a church, right? And it's like the Church of Avacyn, and you see on all the cards like the crest, Avacyn's crest, which is like the two kind of like, it's like a U with like spiky things on the end. Anyway. But when people pray to Avacyn, she can actually hear their prayers, and she can actually intervene and do stuff. So
Right. She can pop right up and help you.
So you can imagine how every person is, on Team Avacyn, because they're like, no, bro, but she actually like helps you though. Like if you're in trouble, like she's there.
Right. Yeah, I asked her for help. and
Yeah.
She showed up.
So on
Gave me
Innistrad,
some beer.
yeah. So in Innistrad, they don't have necessarily the same like religion versus science thing, because if you pray, things actually do happen.
Right.
But
Right. Tangible things,
yes, a literal angel comes and kills a werewolf or something. So basically, while he was creating, Soren was creating Avacyn, he also created the Hell Vault. Now, the Hell Vault is this big monolithic thing next to the city of Thraben, which is where all like the humans live, and it is made from the same silver that Innistrad's moon is made out of. And basically, it's kind of like just this big rock, and then you can trap things inside of it, and then what it does is it's just like infinite darkness, and it feels like you're falling forever. And so what Avacyn does is she just fights demons, and normally if you fight a demon and you kill them, they go to a different realm for a little bit, and then they just kind of get resurrected and come back, because there's like all these cultists that like resurrect demons and stuff. But if you put a demon in the Hell Vault, they can't come back. They're stuck there. They're just like trapped, falling for eternity.
It took her a while to realize this. She killed a bunch of them, and then they just kept coming forever.
And she's like, oh, this sucks.
Yeah.
So that's what the Hell Vault is doing there. Not only that, the Hell Vault is it has Avacyn's magic, so they are both things that protect Innistrad from outside threats. So they only have to deal with the balance and keeping the balance on the plane, and they don't have to deal with other people coming in and fucking shit up, which is also important for the future.
Yeah. Yeah, but that all goes back to, what we were saying earlier, that they're kind of embodiments of mana rather than actual physical forms, and that's why the only way to deal with them is to trap them.
Exactly. So, there are some other characters beside the vampires and things. Let's see. Do we want to talk about Liliana right now?
Sure, why not?
Might as well. So do you want to explain the contract? There's so much backstory, but there's backstory to the backstory.
I know every story has like backstory, and it's like I was only going to tell that story as backstory for the later story.
Oh, gotcha.
Right. But you know what I mean? It's like, I have to tell this to explain what happens later, but then to tell this for it to make sense, I have to tell this.
Exactly. So at the moment, we're still in the backstory of Innistrad, but there's a lot of things you need to know. For everything to kind of make sense. So the arc is full, because there's a nice arc.
But basically, Liliana Vess, so she's a planeswalker. I'm sure everyone at least knows who she is. But she was born right before the Mending, and planeswalked right before the Mending, became a planeswalker. And the Mending is basically like, before that, planeswalkers were essentially gods and could do whatever the hell they wanted. And after that, they became a lot more... still powerful beings, but not omnipotent, basically. Mm-hmm. And so Liliana started aging, and she was like, "What the fuck is this? I don't want to age." And so she, like Edgar, sought, the means to be eternal. And she made a deal with Nicol Bolas to make this happen. And Nicol Bolas said, "I'll arrange for these 4 sort of demon lords. You make pacts with them. They will arrange for this to happen for you, that you'll stop aging or whatever. You'll have eternal youth. But in return, they own your soul." Whatever, I don't know what that means exactly, but it's not good, for sure. If demon lords own your soul, that's like, seems like a pretty big con.
Yeah. Also, spoiler alert, don't make contracts with Nicol Bolas, because he's the worst.
Yeah.
He's going to fuck you up, basically. So, just usually not a good idea. Just, it's not great.
She's obviously never played the game, or she wouldn't have made a contract with him.
But also, it's a lesson I learned because of her,
It's
downfalls.
true. We learned it through her, yeah.
So,
that's a good point.
I guess that's nice. Thanks, Liliana.
Yeah.
Whatever, she's chilling in, like, Strixhaven now forever, basically. So.
That's right. She has to teach.
But basically, one of the demons that is part of her contract of the Chain Veil is Grizzlebrand. And Grizzlebrand is like the biggest, baddest demon on Innistrad. So, Avacyn is like, all right, now we're getting into the story of Innistrad. So Avacyn wants to obviously get rid of this giant demon because he's, the worst and huge.
Yeah.
And she's like, well, let's just have a fight. And so she's first fighting him and being like, oh shit, this is really complicated and I can't just like kill you or put you in the Hell Vault as easily as I thought. And he's much stronger than she was anticipating. And at the time, there were only a couple of her like Cathars or like her most loyal followers were close by,
right.
including
like the head of the church.
Yeah, including Micaeus, who's the Lunarch. And they're watching her battle this demon, and it's going not super great, but enough where she's about to get Griselbrand to be trapped in the Hell Vault. And as that happens, he stabs her with his spear thing. And it doesn't kill her, but it does pull her into the Hell Vault as well. So as she's trapping Griselbrand in the Hell Vault, she is stuck there too. Now, the problem here is that Avacyn, and this is years, like thousands of years after she was created, right? So she's been spending her entire existence putting every demon or bad thing that she couldn't just destroy into this Hell Vault. And the church knows that. And they're like, well, the light, powers of the light can destroy the Hell Vault, and like evil powers cannot. But if we do, every demon will come back.
Right.
And we'll have to deal with
that's a lot.
And that's a lot. Just to save Avacyn. So instead, they just decide to just cover it up and not really tell anybody what happened. Just be like, I don't know. She's
just
on,
like, just don't mention.
She's on vacation. Just don't pray. Like you could still pray, but she's just not going to come anymore. But like it's okay though.
Be as visceral as before. She'll still help you, but from afar.
Yeah. So Micaeus is keeping like this secret to himself. Now I'm realizing as we're talking about this, one of the other things that are on Innistrad are zombies. So, Jeff, actually, I was wondering, do you know the difference between the two zombies that are on Innistrad?
Yeah, so one of the types of zombies is basically a reanimated corpse. You just kind of raise the dead in the more traditional sense. I don't know if those have a special name.
They're called ghouls.
Ghouls, okay. And then the other one are the scobs, and these are essentially like mad scientists. Like think Frankenstein. They're like stitched together. I got an arm here. I got a wing over here. And so that's kind of the two main types of zombies.
Yeah, and the kind of idea is that like the ghouls are black and the scabs are blue, kind of, because of the science and the magic.
Black.
Yeah, but that's what the blue-black.
But mostly blue. Yeah.
Yeah, usually they have blue in them because blue is the color of self. What is it? Reinvention. Like you're always working on yourself, so stitching things together.
Right.
But the idea is that the ghouls are magic based and the scabs are science based, and they're actually a brother and sister duo that are on Innistrad. So it's Gisa and Geralf, and one of them is magic, and the other one is like mad scientist. And so they're in this constant feud of trying to figure out which zombie is better, which is like a weird homebrew project that they're working on. It's kind of independent from everything else.
It like consumes them as well. They care about basically nothing else.
Yeah. And they're still around. They're still kicking. We got a Gisa card recently.
I did see that one, yeah.
So they are important. Now, at this point, let's see. Did we skip anything? Probably. It doesn't matter.
Oh yeah, totally. We'll let them know later when we remember it.
Yeah. Okay, so right now, Avacyn and Griselbrand are trapped in the Hell Vault. Oh, that's what's important. I think we need to take a sidetrack and talk about Nahiri real quick.
You want to do that now?
Oh yeah, I think it is important. I do want to remember to talk about Nahiri. So this means we also have to talk about Zendikar and Eldrazi's.
Oh my god. Well, I'm going to need another beer if we're going to do that. That's for sure.
Okay, do you want me to wait until we finish our beer to talk about the Eldrazi?
Well, I'm almost there, so I don't know.
Okay, I'll just do a quick recap of that. So basically, the Eldrazi are big titans that are on Zendikar, blah, blah. They're the worst. They're huge. They're scary. The original 3 planeswalkers that trapped them on Zendikar were Ugin, Sorin, and the Lithomancer, who is Nahiri. Now, of those 3, 2 of them are super fucking old, and then Nahiri is like this little child, basically. And she kind of becomes Sorin's like mentee, and Sorin like helps her with stuff or whatever because he's just been everywhere and does those things. So they trap them with these hedrons on Zendikar and say if they ever, and this is like long ago, and if they ever escape, we will send out a signal, and all those three will come back, and they will help trap them on Zendikar again. Now, during World Wake and all of that, they erupt or something. And Nahiri is basically like, fuck, they are out. Let's go send the beacon. And she hits the button, and then fucking nobody comes. And she's like, well, this fucking sucks. I thought the whole plan was that I was going to stay here and watch them, and if they ever escaped, I could just tell you guys to come back, and you would, but you didn't, so that sucks. Eventually, she comes to... this is why it's important. So she comes to Innistrad to be like, Soren, why the fuck didn't you come? And he's like, oh, sorry. Like, I made this hell vault, and it, like, stops outside communications, so, like...
He was like, I've just been super busy.
Like,
with stuff.
Dealing with other things, so...
Yeah.
Sorry.
I didn't get your text, actually.
It's 100% that I didn't get your text. Oops. But it was kind of on purpose, you know. Anyway, so Nahiri's super pissed, because she's like, well, my whole plane is destroyed. And so they get in a really big fight. Like a literal, you know, fight. Yeah. But of course, at the time, Soren's like super strong, so he's like, all right, well, I don't want to kill you because, like, I don't want to do that to another mentee, basically. And this is this happens, sorry, the reason this is important, this happens before Avacyn goes in the Hell Vault. So Avacyn is still out. So Avacyn being Soren's, like, creation, and then Nahiri being his, like, mentee, fight each other because... they're kind of like, well, I was created by him, and the other one's like, well, I was mentored by him, and then they get in a fight. And to stop them from tearing each other apart, Soren pushes Nahiri into the Hell Vault, and she's trapped there, falling forever.
He made his choice.
He made his choice. Kind of like, it's basically like putting your kid in timeout is what he did. That's what he felt like when he was doing
Very
that.
Extreme version of it, but yeah.
You're just going to go fall for eternity until I let you out. So, you know, maybe you'll learn a lesson.
6,000 years? That seems fair for your crime.
Yeah,
that's a fair punishment.
Yeah. All right, Jeff, before we get to the next bit, I need to chug this beer because I feel like I've been talking a lot and I haven't been drinking as much as you.
Yeah, that's your first mistake.
But I'm going to down this, and then we'll crack open a new one, and then get into some Liliana business.
Yes.
Okay.
The only thing I wanted to add is that I did read or see somewhere that Griselbrand knew Liliana was coming for him.
Oh.
And that's why he challenged Avacyn and, like, tried to get her to put him in the Hell Vault. Because, so Liliana already killed the first demon that was part of the contract, so Griselbrand, like, the word got out. He's like, oh, Kodafet is dead? Oh, shit. How can I avoid this? And he knew Liliana was coming for him, so he's just like, Hell Vault time.
Oh.
And just trusted that eventually he'd be let out.
That makes sense. I did not know that. Perfect. So that was not
I don't know if that's, like, canon, but I read that or picked it up somewhere, and I really liked it.
I think you're right. I think you're right that he did challenge Avacyn, and that... he wasn't the first demon Liliana was going after. So, nice catch.
Yeah.
We're still working on our 100% mark right now, so I think we're we're getting close. But I'm gonna have to grab another beer before we keep going.
Let's do it.
Alrighty, Jeff, would you like to unveil our second silver beer of the night?
Yes, the second beer of the night is... I can't do a drum roll because I'm pouring my beer currently. It's Heineken.
Hey, Heineken. So...
fast forward a few years from our last beer.
Just a few. Heineken is from Amsterdam, if you didn't know. It's 5%, and it is founded in 1873.
That's downright recent.
Yeah, and it was founded by a man named Gerard Adrian Heineken. So
there you go.
There you go. That's why it's called that. All right, we will see how I like this one. I feel like I normally will. I never want to pick up Heineken, so it will be.
It's so weird doing a show where I have preconceived notions of everything we're doing already. You know?
Yeah, but like, because I have strong memories of many of the beers we're doing tonight, so. These ones are more difficult. I think last Silver Series, I had like, most of those were like, these feel really bottom of the barrel. These feel like a higher tier of silver All of them.
Definitely, yeah.
Except we're forced to put them at similar ones. Like,
Yeah, I know. We didn't do any justice here because we picked better beers that would have beaten out other competition easily, but have to compete with each other.
huh? That Heineken's hitting different tonight. I don't know. Okay.
Glad to hear it.
Alrighty. You'll be glad to know I was not the one that picked Heineken for the show, so I would never do that.
Now I'm glad I did.
Yeah, there you go. Jeff, do you want to jump right back into what is happening with Liliana and her contract and Grizzlebrand? I was going to say the dragon, the demon.
Yeah. So totally, Liliana, when last we spoke, Liliana wanted to kill Grizzlebrand because, so she had her big plan, make a pact with these demons and then just kill them all. And that way it doesn't matter that they own her soul. She kind of gets her soul back and gets to keep the eternal youth for free, as it were.
Yes.
And so she's come to Innistrad because she knows that Grizzlebrand is here, who is one of the demons. And she thinks to herself, okay, well, I don't know where Grizzlebrand is. But you know who probably does? The Church of Avacyn, because they are, the heralds of light. They would probably sense this incredibly powerful dark force on their plane. So she decides, let's just go to them and see, do they know where this archdemon is? So she goes to the main dude, I guess. Like, where else would you go?
Macias.
Yeah.
But it turns out Macias doesn't want to tell her anything because, he knows what happened to Grizzlebrand, and he doesn't want anyone to know about Avacyn also being in the Hell Vault, so...
Right. Remember, he's all hush-hush about it, and he's pretty corrupt. Like, he's profiting from this false god thing.
Because now people are kind of coming to him for help, and so he's like, well, I'm getting some really good stock out of this, so I shouldn't really tell anyone. So, in all, Macias kind of sucks. He's not a great dude.
Oh, yeah.
He's not a good dude. We don't like him very much.
His plan makes no sense for a myriad of reasons. And don't worry, he'll get his. Yeah,
he does. But basically what happens is that, do you want to, we get to go back to our brother and sister, necromancer / zombie.
Yeah. The zombie duo, the zombie twins or whatever. So basically, in order to prove whose zombie is better, they decide to attack the greatest structure of light, the kind of pinnacle of light, Thraben, which is, the big city where the Hell Vault is. They say, hey, if we could take down Thraben, then we'll see in this great war whose zombies outmatch the other. And so Gisa and Geralt decide, let's attack Thraben with our zombie armies.
Yeah, so I'm a little fuzzy on this part. So,
okay.
I know that they are attacking Thraben, and it's through their, little game. But through some of this, for some reason, Geralt gets inside of Thraben without the zombies and goes up to Macias and, murders him, basically.
Oh, yeah, he, stabs him with a letter opener. Or
a bunch. And then starts to, kind of stitch him back up. Now, for some reason, Liliana is also around, and then she basically is like, oh, well, he's dead now, but I needed to know information from him. Good thing I'm also a necromancer, so you're trying to stitch him up or do some things. I don't give a shit. She does her necromancy magic, and he comes back to life. And the other Macias card that we have, which is the really, really good one, where he's black.
Right.
And
well, black cards are always better than white cards.
Not always. But in this example, yes, the black Macias is significantly better than the white one. And
who is better, Grizzlebrand or Avacyn?
Well, Avacyn, because she's not band and commander. Boom, gotcha.
Okay, got me.
But anyway, so she's like, yeah, I'll just reanimate him, and he'll just tell me. And so he does, because he's just a mindless zombie now.
So I think the answer is basically that, okay, so with Avacyn gone, it's important to note that the humans are getting rolled.
Oh,
so,
right. Yeah. Why are they getting rolled?
Because Havison isn't there anymore to
Yeah,
save them.
it's kind of like when she's around, she also gives off like magic-ish. So they have some spells and charms that it's like having a crucifix that actually it like does stuff.
Yeah, it works.
So they have all these they have all these staves and things you'll see in all the art like Avacyn's symbol, and they can say spells and it would actually stop things from hurting them.
Right, it actually kills or fights off werewolves and vampires and all the monsters, all the dark forces.
But when she's gone, it doesn't, and so that's why they're like, oh shit, what happened? Why my stuff not working anymore?
And this is why Micaeus' plan of just don't tell anyone was a pretty shit plan.
But
so anyways, they're getting overrun on all sides, and that's why this attack on Thraben was well timed, because the humans basically suck right now.
They just have a bunch of sticks. And
yeah, the ghouls and the scobs are just overrunning them completely, and that's when Geralt just walks right into Thraben, basically, because they're whooping the humans.
So now Liliana knows that Griselbrand and Avacyn are both in the Hell Vault, and she's like, well, I need to get Griselbrand. I'm going to make a little zombie army of my own, go destroy that Hell Vault. And then she tries, and then she can't do it because, oh shit, yeah, black magic can't destroy the Hell Vault. It has to be like light or whatever.
And it's a little unclear on all the timing exactly, which I think is part of the confusion about how Geralt just walked in. But the humans start fighting back and winning against the zombies at some point during this whole thing, presumably after Micaeus dies. And while Liliana is attacking the Hell Vault, maybe. Because they elect Thalia as their commander or whatever.
Yeah, so I think when Micaeus dies, then for some reason Thalia becomes like the leader. And she's like a warrior, basically. And so she can actually help.
Well, I think there was just some commander who died who was ahead of her.
Okay, well that also...
I think Micaeus ran away like a little bitch, and that's why Geralt found him in the...
That makes a lot more sense. Okay, I could see that happening. Yeah, because...
That's how I interpreted it.
Yeah.
I was like, Micaeus obviously ran away like a little bitch, or else how did Geralt find him?
That's true. People who want to pretend that they're powerful tend to do shit like that. So that does... I get that.
But basically, Thalia becomes the commander, and then they start pushing back.
Well, I guess she comes the lieutenant, but whatever.
The lieutenant,
so
Guardian of Thraben, I guess, would be her
exactly. She definitely strikes first, is what I have to say about that.
That's right.
But
she defeated zombies by protecting against their spells.
Yeah, somehow. Anyway, so Thalia's like fighting back, and they tend to be winning. And Liliana realizes that to open the Hell Vault, she needs to convince Thalia that she has to do it, because only the powers of the light can destroy the Hell Vault. When I say convince, I don't really mean like sit down and chat with a cup of coffee or whatever. It's more like...
Took a different tactic.
A different tactic where she says, hey, if you don't destroy the Hell Vault right now, I will raise a giant zombie army and kill all of your soldiers, and then have them be raised as well, and then come kill you and all of Thraben and wipe out everybody. Unless you destroy the Hell Vault.
Unless you blow up that rock.
And so, obviously, Thalia's like, okay, because she doesn't know anything, right?
Right.
She just knows, like, oh, sure, okay.
It's just like a statue or a symbol of hope or something.
Yeah.
She's like, well, the symbol of hope isn't worth
the destruction of everybody. So she decides that she's going to blow up the Hell Vault. Now...
which apparently she can do.
Just because she has light powers, right? And she's, like, true of heart or something.
Okay.
I also think somewhere through all of this, she is, like... guided by the Geist of Saint Traft or something is also part of some of it, because he was like the holiest of holy people, and then died and also continued to be like the holiest of holy Geists. He's like the good one of the.
That might be later though, because she like picks up Avacyn's spear and like gets blessed by the Geist or something.
Oh, maybe that is true.
Goes into battle.
Maybe that happens later. It is a little confusing, but anyway.
Yeah.
Do you notice that we know a lot about this?
Yeah.
100%. All true.
Yeah. That's our 100% guarantee.
What we say is right most of the time, sometimes. Where were we? What happened? Okay.
So yeah, Liliana. Liliana bullies Thalia into blowing up the
Yeah, and I
must have done some display to convince her that she can actually do what she's claiming.
I think she
will
killed
do.
a few of her soldiers and was like, I'm gonna real fuck you up. So bully is like, a light term. It's more like terrorism, something like that. It's some crazy thing.
It's pretty extreme.
Anyway, so Thalia blows up the Hell Vault, unleashing not only Grizzlebrand and Avacyn, but also Nahiri and all of the other demons that have ever been in the Hell Vault ever. Though, luckily, we do have Avacyn now, so she's gonna, do some work.
And this was something like 6,000 years after Nahiri got imprisoned, so it's like she's pretty pissed.
Right? Was it that long?
It was in the thousands.
It was a ridiculous amount of time. Okay. I guess I don't know the timeline between like original Zendikar set and Innistrad. Some of those things can be a little messy. Anyway, so Nahiri gets out, immediately planeswalks to Zendikar to see what the fuck's going on. And then, let's see, Grizzlebrand gets killed by Liliana fairly quickly, I think.
Really easily, yeah.
So it does...
So Liliana has her chain veil, it's like this ancient artifact that she found that gives her crazy power. And she whoops his ass with it, basically.
Yeah, basically. But it also hurts her a lot. Like, when she uses the chain veil, it, saps her...
It's kind of crazy, because she's like, I'll get out of my demon deal by taking this cursed artifact and using its power to kill those demons. And it's like, well, the cursed artifact is also a thing that offers you power now in exchange
for your life
source
or something. Yeah,
you're just trading up the demon pact totem pole here.
Liliana, it's not going great. Also, in all of this with Liliana and the chain veil and somehow she meets Garruk, and then he also gets cursed.
She curses him
somehow. I don't exactly know what happens with that, but he gets cursed for a long... Oh, no,
It's not really that important to the story, I don't think, because it never really gets mentioned.
It's just like...
There's a
card where he's cursed. I think she like kills a wolf or something and he's mad about it, so then she curses him. Something like that. Something stupid.
Yeah.
And then he doesn't get cured until he goes to Throne of Eldraine. Anyway. Or Eldraine, I guess it's not the throne. It doesn't matter. I don't know why I brought it up. But...
Anyway, that's why Grizzlebrand was scared, because Liliana has this chain veil, and she easily killed Codafed, who will later, allegedly, I guess, was supposed to be more powerful than Grizzlebrand or something. So anyways, that's why.
Yeah. He
was like the weakest one, apparently, Grizzlebrand.
Yeah, but as far as like the cards go, he's like the strongest one.
He's the best one by a lot.
Yeah, so it gets kind of confusing. And now Liliana just like doesn't give too much of a shit about Innistrad, so she's kind of gone. And through some other things in the aftermath, it's like, yay, Avacyn's back. Now everyone's prayers are being answered. She's continuing to make sure that people aren't dying. She also cures some of the werewolves at the same time. And when I say cure, it's more like they get a choice if they want to, because the werewolves have this thing where like, when they're human, they're fine, and then when they turn into a werewolf, they'll just have an insane bloodlust and kill anything in their path, including like their loved ones. And then they wake up the next morning and realize what they've done. Now,
typical werewolf stuff.
Yeah, normal stuff. So now Avacyn gives them a deal where it's like, you could be cured, but you have to be a wolf like all the time, but you do have your normal human brain. So, they live in harmony. Like, she fuses your soul with your wolf soul. So basically, you won't go crazy when you're a wolf. You can actually control your powers. And that's how Arlen Core is like a planeswalker and can do stuff, I think. And they're like the Wolfear. And I think there's like silver fur represents them. I'm not super sure on that one. But that's part of her, like, I'm saving people again, Avacyn.
Totally.
Yeah. But that is basically the story of the original Innistrad block. That's kind of what happened.
Well, one thing, because I had this question.
Yeah, okay.
You might be wondering, where the fuck was Sorin when all this shit was happening?
Oh, yeah.
And it turns out he was there, and he knew this was all a threat. But there was this devilish planeswalker around named Tybalt, and he decided he had to go whoop Tybalt's ass. And by the time he got back with that, which he did easily, all this stuff had sorted itself out, so he did.
Exactly. So, like, that is what Tybalt did in the story, was just be a little nuisance. Basically, like...
Get destroyed by Sorin easily.
Yeah. Also, Tamio was there at some point, but I don't know why. In the original Innistrad. So it was like Innistrad was great, and then Dark Ascension was everyone's in the Hell Vault, and then Avacyn Restored is everyone's out of the Hell Vault.
Yeah, that one is Avacyn is restored.
It makes, you look at the sets, it makes sense.
Yeah, it checks out.
Yeah, math checks out. So yay, a good one. It worked. Everything's happy. We do have more story to tell because there's a lot of fucking shit that happened the second time we went to Innistrad. Jeff, I think it's time again. We're gonna have to talk about Eldrazi again.
Oh man, I was hoping you wouldn't.
I know, right? It's annoying. I'll tell the stories about the. I do want to say this. We talk a lot of shit about Eldrazi on the show, because we fucking hate them. That's strong.
So that's
yeah. So it's a really strong word, but it's true. However, I think Jeff might get a new co-host if I say this right now. But
oh no,
through reading this story specifically, and seeing what happens, it made me kind of like the Eldrazi a little bit.
Oh no, you heretic.
At least in like the story wise. As far as like the cards go, I still didn't love them. But in the story I was like, oh, that was kind of interesting though. I kind of liked it.
You're kicked out of the No More Eldrazi Club.
We should get shirts.
Yeah.
Anyway.
No, I mean I mostly just hated the cards, like the play patterns that it came with.
Yeah.
And honestly, mostly it was Oath of the Gatewatch, because that's the set I played, and I was like, this set is so bad.
Yeah. So let's talk about Oath of the Gatewatch. All right, so basically, what happens after Innistrad is Nahiri...
You like my segue?
Yeah, it was good. Nahiri goes back to Zendikar to see that it's fucking destroyed, because the Eldrazi were there, and they just wreaked havoc. And she couldn't do anything, because she was fucking stuck in a Hell Vault that Soren put her in as timeout. So she's super fucking pissed, and she's mad nobody helped her with her call, and she decides that she is going to get revenge. And so while the Gatewatch is working on Zendikar, I think she just dips and she's like, you know what, fuck it.
She just doesn't even help. Like,
I don't know a ton about that, but basically, the battle for Zendikar story is the Gatewatch see the Eldrazi and then they kill them with fire. That is the story. So I don't know.
Hey man, Nissa channels the energy, okay, to make them materialize in their forms on the plane.
Sure.
And then gives that energy to Chandra, and then she burns them.
That's true.
With fire.
While Jace tells everyone what the plan is, and Gideon just beats up whatever's trying to attack him. You're right. That is the story. Yeah. That's what the Gatewatch does. It's all about Chandra, and then Jace takes all the credit. Basically. Anyway, so...
I think Nissa's the hero. She's like, the one providing the actual fuel. Enough power to kill
I guess that's true. She is bringing the fuel. So Nahiri says, you know what? Fuck Soren, and fuck what he did to my plane that's getting destroyed now. I'm gonna ruin his entire life. That's kind of what happens. But now we're on Innistrad again. Long time has passed, and Avacyn's doing her Avacyn stuff. Thalia's around. We're chilling. But there's some weird things going on. The Hell Vault was destroyed, by the way, and that was, remember, one of the important things keeping Innistrad safe from outside harm.
I mean, it also unleashed a lot of demons. We mentioned Avacyn.
That's true.
Yeah.
And
there's
like
a lot more
everything.
shit in there. Yeah.
That's true. So I just imagine Innistrad just has a bunch of shit going on all the time, and they're like, those are just demons. We don't have to worry about other things.
Yeah.
But there are some weird things going on with some of the people and the werewolves and all that stuff. Like, more weird than normal.
Right. Not weird in the right way, Innistrad's always weird, and this was different weird.
Exactly. Now, I don't exactly know what exactly was the turning point of what's going on, but it's all part of, like, Nahiri's plot to just get revenge on Soren. And that's why we've been talking about Nahiri for a while, because she's really important in this second time we go to Innistrad.
Yes, now we'll be talking a lot about Nahiri.
Yes, because she is the worst. She's the worst. Not as bad as Micaeus though. I like zombie Micaeus, but regular Micaeus is a fucking just shit dick. He's a shit dick.
Yeah. You know, at least the evil people, other than him in the first story, have the decency to be openly evil, you know? Mm-hmm. And he's all like, well, I should tell everyone that Avacyn is gone, but it would benefit me if I don't, so I'm not going to.
Yeah, that's why I like Gisa and Giralf, because they're like, you know what? I just want to fucking make the best zombie ever.
Yeah.
Like, they have nothing else going on. It's so nice. Refreshing, honestly. Mm-hmm. But apparently, so in Shadows over Innistrad, there's a bunch of clues about some weird stuff that's going on, hence investigating clues and all that. Tamio is writing in her journal about the weird things that are happening. But for the most part, it kind of all trails back to Nahiri.
Yeah, so there are these like big stone structures called cryptoliths that have emerged everywhere, and they point in certain directions, tend to mess up the mana. You know, it's just like a weird time to be around.
Yeah. Weird stuff's going on.
Like, imagine just a big rock that is clearly not just a random rock. It's like a sculpture comes out of the ground suddenly. It's weird. Knew there wasn't there like a few days ago.
It's almost like someone has like stone powers.
Yeah,
that's doing something.
Maybe.
But
who knows?
Who has stone powers though? That's weird. I don't understand. That's
you need a
strange.
lithomancer or some whatever the things are called.
Well, I don't. Yeah, if anything, like a cryptolith. That's weird.
Yeah.
Anyway, all these things are pointing all over the place, and people are starting to have some mental breaks. Because the mana on the plane is getting kind of screwed up with the cryptolith. I didn't realize that. I guess it's just Innistrad's just the way that it's put together. But like, if the mana isn't flowing right, you just go insane. You just lose your mind. Yeah. You get madness. Basically, is what you get.
Oh shit!
Oh shit!
You get discarded to paid as an alternate cost.
Anyway, through all of this stuff. Jace at some point comes over because he's trying to figure out what's going on in this place as well. And he has a sneaking suspicion that it's probably Liliana for some reason, because he has a really complicated relationship with Liliana. I don't really want to get into it too much, but like they used to like...
He was her boy toy. That's what happened.
They used to fuck, and now he's coming back for more, and she likes him because he always just like needs her help, and so she likes that. Anyway... so he's like, all right, well, Liliana's probably fucking shit up and like making things go crazy. That's not.
He's like a few hundred years younger than her, so
yeah. But now, also, we're starting to realize that not only are the people kind of losing their minds, but also Avacyn is starting to break mentally. Mm-hmm. And back when I was talking about how she was programmed to do a very specific thing to protect the innocent, that becomes like hyper overdrive, where she ends up seeing a mom strike her child, kind of like smacking her or spanking her or something, and saying, if the humans I protect could be this horrible towards their innocent, why am I protecting humans? Mm-hmm. And then she fucking transforms into the red side, where she looks fucking crazy, and
the purifier or whatever.
She goes on a rampage, and she is killing everything. Like, nothing is pure enough to withstand her. Like, she is going...
Makes sense. If she has to protect purity, I mean, humans aren't pure.
It's true. It's very true. So, slight mechanical misstep in
Yeah, he coded it wrong a little bit.
He kind of fucked it up, you know. We all know that with any, like, I don't know, robot movie you've ever watched.
Yeah.
You got to be very... It's like wishing with a genie. You have to be very specific about the words you use, because it will get fucked up if you don't do that. So she is now bad, real bad. Like, just slaughter everybody, burn everything to the ground. Everyone is a victim. And it's just not great. The weird thing about it, too, is that she also knows that it's Soren's fault that she went crazy. Isn't that nuts? She like knows, the guy who made me, yeah, he did a bad job. He coded me wrong, and it's his fault that all these people have to die now. So she still blames it on him. Hilarious. I don't know why.
Yeah, I mean, in some sense, she's like a part of him, because we mentioned that pre-mending planeswalkers are basically gods, but that's what Soren did, is just take some of his energy when he was that powerful and make her.
So now she's kind of on this rampage, and she's like going to kill. She ends up getting in a fight with Jace and Tamio in a church. Lucky for them, unlucky for them, she's fucking powerful, and she's indestructible, and they are not. And so she's gunning for them, and he's like a mind mage, and Tamio's like a story, like a scroll reader. I don't know.
She has story magic, whatever that means. I mean, I think she like tells Jace a story about Mirrodin, and that cures his insanity. So it's like her magic is she understands what's afflicting or what's wrong, and then so has the appropriate story to like magically cure things.
So she's like a mom. She's just like a planeswalker mom.
Yeah. She tells you a story that makes you feel better.
Perfect. All right. So Tamio is now the planeswalking mom. So basically, what happens is Avacyn's trying to kill them, and then oh boy, does shit go wrong because Soren shows up, and they're in like Thraben, like in the church of Thraben, while this like battle happens. And well, Jeff, what does Soren do?
Well, he basically fights Avacyn, essentially. But he tries to convince her at first, like, hey, you're crazy, like you were made for this other purpose. And this is what you were saying. She's like, well, if I'm crazy, then it's your fault, actually. So you're impure because you made me, and now I have to kill you because I'm protector of purity. And then so they're battling, and then she says to Soren, like, hey, you know the deal, like whatever you can't kill, you have to imprison, because that was what he told her, and that's the Hell Vault and all that. And then he's all like, yeah, but I can kill you, and bang, he unmakes her.
Anguishingly.
Yeah, he's anguished about it. Yeah.
And man, so she is indestructible, but you can sacrifice her. And
that's right.
He does. He really does.
You can exile her, whatever he did. Does the Soren card exile? Because that'd be a nice flavor win.
It does. The Anguish Unmaking?
No, like the actual Soren Planeswalker. The card certainly does. Yeah. It's like you lose 3 life and exile target. I don't remember, but non-life permanent, I think.
Yeah.
It's like, damn, that's a flavor home run. But.
Yeah, it's like a Commander All-Star. Yeah, I don't remember if the actual Soren Planeswalker exiles, but in this case he does, and he doesn't really know what he's done at this moment. Now there have been some weird things going on, and Nahiri's fucking up with the ley lines and stuff, but the things that were protecting Innistrad from outside harm was the Hell Vault, which got blown up a long time ago, and Avacyn, who just got unmade right now, and. Well, the floodgates just kind of fucking pop open, and that's when shit gets really weird. Yeah. Yeah. And it wasn't really a surprise to anyone when this was coming out because, Battle for Zendikar had 2 of the 3 Eldrazi that we knew about, so we're kind of waiting for the other one to show up.
Oh, it was even, like, hypothesized that the reason Jace went there in the first place is, like, where was the 3rd Eldrazi? I need to find it out. Which would be a logical thing to do. Like, exactly. I know there's 3. There were only 2 that we beat. Where's the last one?
Spoiler alert, the last one's here.
Yeah.
Basically, what Nahiri was doing is putting up these cryptoliths, and they're all pointing towards the Drown Yard, which has a ton of cryptoliths around it, and it's making the Eldritch Moon, essentially, that's going to summon... oh my god, what is the name of the... Emrakul. I was like, Kozilek Ulamog, what's the other one? It's summoning Emrakul to the plane because Nahiri's like, you know what? Eldrazi fucked up my house. They're going to fuck up yours too. Real bad. And everyone and everything. And I don't fucking care. Also, it is good to note, through all the stuff that had happened before, which I completely forgot about, but Sorin decides to go back to Markov Manor. And what happened to Markov Manor?
It's all turned to stone, including all of its inhabitants, by, I know,
Yeah.
someone who has stone-turning powers who's pissed at Sorin.
Super weird. Yeah, so there is definitely a declaration in stone that happens.
Yeah.
She declares that the Markovs will be one pole, and she basically pushes all the Markov family into a pole, and they're all alive, kind of, but they're just in constant agony, and
much like she was.
Yeah, for a long time in the Hell Vault. Interesting, weird how that works out, but they are just like screaming forever, stuck in stone. And Sorin sees it and is like, oh, shit. Oh.
That sucks.
I wonder who did this.
Yeah.
That was before some of the stuff with Avacyn. But now Nahiri...
Totally. I mean, like, Jace finds the Tamio's journal there, and that's what leads him to Tamio and whatever.
Mm-hmm.
He was trying to get Sorin for help, and Liliana was like, no. So then he went to Markov Manor, and that's how all that elapsed. But that's like kind of the boring part of the story. So.
Yeah, right. Makes sense. So now, the one interesting thing about Emrakul, how can I never remember Emrakul's name?
You Rakul, we Rakul,
Emrakul. So Kozilek and Ulamog are titans that kind of come to a plane, and they like bring like drones or scion things to come do stuff.
And they affect the world very physically, right? Like the mana there is fucked up.
Emrakul likes to turn the living things that are already there into versions of Emrakul. And kind of goes after everyone's minds. And that's why everyone's being kind of crazy and everything's been happening. And now all the werewolves and the people and the everything are turning into tentacle stuff. Tentacly.
Right. So I think the reason people were going crazy was because Emrakul was like nearby. Nahiri just hadn't pulled her into the plane yet. But she was so close to the plane that alone was enough to cause the insanity that was happening.
Exactly. And the mana was weird too. I think that also helps.
But so the mana was all like pointed towards this summoning spot is why it got disturbed, right?
And at one point Jace goes to the Drown Yard and has an epiphany about it, and figures out what's going on.
Drown Yard, I've played that card.
Yeah, and basically that's why he thought, oh yeah, to go back, that I skipped this part. So the reason he thought Liliana was the one in charge of everything was because there was a bunch of zombies that were making these cryptoliths. And little did he know that it was actually Nahiri was hanging out with Gisa, and Gisa's like, oh, I'll make those cryptoliths for you. That's fine. Just pay me whatever, and I'll do it. And so Nahiri's like, totally.
Just admit that my zombies are the best,
and I will do it. So that's how that kind of...
Don't hire any scabs, because that would be a breach of contract.
Exactly. And that's a real thing, right? Scabs are like people that steal jobs and stuff. Isn't that a thing? Like
no, scabs are people who refuse to protest, like
with the union,
go on strike.
Right.
That's the word I was looking for. Yep.
So okay, so they don't steal your job.
Because they want to keep getting paid. Or I guess they do steal your job. Yeah.
Kind of, right. They walk over picket lines, so you wouldn't want scabs to take your anyway.
It worked. There was something.
We got there. Yeah. And so now we have this fucking tentacle menace. It's just like some weird Japanese porn stuff going on. It's great.
Yeah. That's Eldritch Moon. I mean, it feels like a good place to grab another beer and jump into the next session.
and go into what's to come. Alrighty, we got another silver beer for you. Obviously, all the beers are silver this episode.
This one's really silver, though.
This is super silver. It is Sapporo. I,
There you go.
I just say it because they say that like in the commercials, and I think it sounds super cool.
Yeah.
But Sapporo, the beer you drink when you go to eat sushi,
That's right.
basically. That's what I think.
Oh, I thought that was called sake bombs.
Oh man, I love sake bombs. I haven't done one of those in a while. Those are good. I'm pretty sure they fucking hate it when you order a sake bomb because it makes a
Oh,
mess
of course they
everywhere.
do. I would hate it.
Yeah. Not only because you don't just drop the sake into the beer, but you like put it on the chopsticks and bang the table till it falls. Have you done that?
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
It's just the worst. It's just so rude. Like what?
Everything about it is awful.
Yeah, but except for the fact that you get to drink it and somebody else.
Yeah, no, sorry. Everything about it is awful if anyone else does it.
Exactly.
When your table is doing it, it's great.
Yeah. So Sapporo, obviously from Japan, it is also 5% like the other three beers we've had tonight, and it was founded in 1876. So that's only 3 years after Heineken. So that one's a bit closer than the whole Stella stretch.
Yeah, it was a big jump at the start. To be fair, Stella knocks, of all the silver beers we had last week, obviously those were from North America, so they can't compete with.
Yes, yeah, we're not
66.
as far as the timing. A fun thing that I didn't actually know about Sapporo is that the brewmaster was Saibe Nakagawa. He was German trained originally, so he left Japan when he was 17, and then he traveled around a lot, and then he went to Germany and learned how to make beer, and then came back to Japan and started making Sapporo.
That's like a thing though. Like it's the same reason Japanese whiskey is good because the guys who started the whole thing in Japan, the whole revolution of whiskey, learned in Scotland and were like importing Scottish malts and stuff at the beginning, and just like basically we're making Scotch that was just as good because they learned from the best and mastered it, but was way cheaper. So for a while you could get kind of the Japanese Scotch or whatever. I mean, people have caught on now, and now it's not cheap.
And now it's not cheap, yeah. But it is good stuff. So definitely check out our Scotch episode. Just kidding.
Yeah. Where we bring 3 bottles of Scotch each.
And we drink all of it. No. Okay, where were we in the story? I can't remember.
Yeah, speaking of butchering stories about...
And just fucking...
the butchered Japanese Scotch story.
And now... What were we talking about? We were talking about... Oh, Emrakul has just landed on Innistrad.
Right.
Through the Eldritch Moon.
Big Mama.
Yeah, big Mama. She, if you didn't know, she is referred to as a she. And the other two as he. But she's fucking shit up, man. Real bad. And everyone's like, oh shit. I think at this point the Gatewatch has arrived. Not just Jace, but the rest of them have also come.
At some point, Jace goes to get them because he's like, hey, our strategy, which we explained earlier of the fire, worked against the other 2 Eldrazi Titans. Why wouldn't it work against this one? So at some point, he goes to get the Gatewatch to bring them back.
To do a similar plan. Now, before that...
one thing I don't get, sorry, is that... So we talked about Emrakul is like corrupting everyone, right? She's making them crazy and then turning some of them into her scions. But it seems kind of random, or like some people just aren't affected, or some beings just aren't affected at all by Emrakul.
Yeah, I don't know if it's like the pure of heart or one of those kinds of things, or people that
like a bunch of the angels get fired. Like Avacyn went crazy.
Oh yeah, well, so Avacyn goes
just
crazy.
Sigarda that didn't go crazy. Basically.
Yeah, so we forgot
she seemed fine.
Yeah, so Sigarda is the angel, and her folk, the flight of the heron or something like that. That's what they're called. Everyone who's like, oh, Sigarda's the best angel. She's fine.
Yeah, like doesn't notice anything.
Yeah.
It's just being. She's there like, why the fuck is everyone acting so crazy? You know, like she's the one that she was the DD. She took all her
the fucking party, yeah, and she has to take home. But Bruna and Gisela, who turn into...
She's like, I don't understand anything you're talking about.
Yeah. So basically, the drunken... That's maybe everyone got drunk. That's kind of it. So the drunken versions of everyone turn into tentacle monsters, and Bruna and Gisela also got really drunk and then fused together into Bruzella, which is like this fucking Eldrazi angel monster with a fuck ton of arms, and it's really creepy and gross. Probably one of the nastiest of magic arts.
I think so, yeah.
It's pretty rough. I also forgot to mention earlier, so the Black Aligned Angel, which is Lisa, or Leisa, something like that.
Okay.
She earlier was like, hey, I'm the light and the dark, and I don't fight the demons. This is back when Avacyn was alive, before the Hell Vault and all that stuff. She was like, oh, the demons aren't so bad. We can learn from them, and that's how we can communicate or work with them / defeat them, is her take. And Avacyn said, no, fuck that, and then smited her. So she, like, died, kind of, and all her followers. And all the other angels were like, oh, you know, yeah, you do your thing. Like, I'm okay. So it is interesting, because we have recently seen this angel in Commander Legends product, and now we saw a preview for it in the new set. So I guess
okay, because I've never heard of this angel.
Yeah, so I guess she's
all news to me.
She's back. Like, I don't know. Mm-hmm. I don't know anything that happened. All I know is that she was smited by Avacyn, and I'm pretty sure smite means kill. So like,
but maybe it was like Avacyn's unmaking brought her back somehow. Like she was banished by Avacyn somehow.
So now we have a new one. I don't know. But anyway, she doesn't like Avacyn. That's I'm assuming.
Okay. Yeah, I get that.
But anyway, she's not in the story at this moment. We just have Sigarda, who is still chill and protects you and gives you hexproof, and then Bruna and Gisela turned into Brizella, and they're fucking gross.
Yeah.
Sorry.
And Sigarda is like particularly in tune with humanity. Like she's kind of the protector of humans. Especially after this whole thing where everyone went evil except for her.
Yeah, she's really the only one left. She's like a true angel.
But yeah, with that part, it seemed unexplained to me that Emrakul just chooses whoever she deems worthy. I don't know, but
I think that's part of it.
Didn't seem to affect everyone.
There's kind of a bit later that gets a little bit more into what Emrakul is thinking about this whole thing. But before either before or during, I don't super know. But Nahiri ends up going back to the Markov Manor and hanging out with Sorin. Hanging out.
I don't know if she was hanging out. She amasses, so she's developed a cult following.
Yes.
From being here on Innistrad and like changing the mana and like showing her powers off and whatever. And so she has a bunch of cultists, basically.
Yeah, it's a lot of the humans that liked Avacyn were like, oh wait, Avacyn's now killing everybody. Maybe this Nahiri thing, she knows what's going on. She's kind of cool too. Also, they both have like white skin and white hair, so I'm chill. You know,
I'll just make the jump over.
Yeah, it's not that difficult. You know, it's a classic. You know, jump into a new religion thing. So they kind of make they're followers of Nahiri, and so she confronts Sorin at Markov Manor, and they get in a huge fight.
But Sorin has he's amassed his vampire army as well. Like he went to Olivia, who's normally they're not on best of terms.
No, but she said no. She was like, oh, that was he goes to her to fight Emrakul.
Yeah.
Oh, this is afterwards. I'm thinking about something that happens at the end of the story.
Okay, yeah. I'm pretty sure he convinces her that because Nahiri turned his whole family to stone, that she's a threat against all vampire kind.
Yes. And she brought Emrakul to the plane, and so, yes, you're right. Okay, so this happens first. So Sorin goes to Olivia Voldaren and tries to get a truce. So this is the Voldaren family is another vampire family, which we haven't really mentioned before, because they're not as strong as the Markovs, and they, weren't super important.
They wish they were, though.
They do. They do wish they were. And maybe they want to marry into the Markov name. I don't know.
Who knows?
Maybe we'll see.
Who knows?
Who can even be sure? But anyway, so she decides, yes, I will do that. We'll have a truce, because they kind of the families bicker and stuff, and obviously the Markovs are the biggest ones, so not everyone likes them that much. But Olivia's like, sure, we will fight alongside you to save Innistrad or whatever, and kill this lithomancer or whatever. So that's all happening, and that kind of brings us to the Gatewatch again, where they have a master plan to get rid of an Eldrazi monster.
Infallible, I would say. It's worked twice. So
yeah, basically. So the plan again is Nissa pulls the mana, gives it to Chandra. Chandra shoots fire. Gideon fights off the zombies and the tentacles.
Gideon's the offensive line, you know? Like, he's, he's the guy who's just blocking for the quarterback here.
Yeah, exactly.
Has to get in the way long enough.
And Jace is just like in everyone's ear, I guess. I don't know who that would be.
I want to say he's the offensive coordinator, but I don't want to give him that much credit.
Yeah,
so like...
I didn't want to say he was the coach because I also don't want to give him that much credit. Maybe he's just like, he's like NFL Films. He just has everyone mic'd up, and he's just like, but I can also tell them what he's thinking. Because he's really not that helpful. I really don't see how he's super helpful in those situations. Like, how much do you have to tell someone, hey, now it's time to take the mana, and then to the other person, now it's time to shoot the fire. I don't.
He's definitely saying it after they've already started doing it. Like, yeah, shoot your fire now, Sean. Just like, shut the
fuck. I'm already doing it. So it doesn't. He just doesn't see. He doesn't seem extremely useful in this specific circumstance. Besides his like the other things, going to get them, to bring them and help them. That's helpful.
He brought them here.
Yeah, those things. In the actual fight or the actual moment,
he coordinated the match. Who does that?
Yeah, he's like a tournament organizer, I guess. He's like a judge. You just call him over and he helps settle squabbles. But in any case, they try, and Nissa's just like, wow, the ley lines are all fucked up. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's not working out.
It turns out that in her home plane of Zendikar, she's much better at pulling all of the mana from the entire plane as she is at a random plane that she's never been to before.
Yeah. Who would have thunk? It's so weird.
Yeah.
Like, that's so, like, who would have known? So, of course, it just doesn't work, like, at all. Like, not even a little bit.
They get their asses whooped.
Yeah. And now they're getting attacked by tentacle things. And it brings us to a nice chapter about Jace. Jeff, do you remember much about this chapter?
Yeah. So he like runs, and by much, the correct answer is no. But I remember some stuff.
Cool.
Okay, so he like runs down a staircase of some sort because they all get sent into. Remember, Emrakul affects the minds, so she's kind of giving them all nightmares essentially.
Yeah.
But for some reason, Jace gets to run down the spiral staircase and like witness each of their nightmares one at a time before getting to the bottom and coming to his own nightmare. Now, like what each of their nightmares were, I don't remember.
Yeah.
I mean,
but it kind of ends up where they're in this weird mind maze-ish kind of thing. And he comes up to these figures that represent the Eldrazi, and he is basically going up to a chessboard playing chess against Emrakul. And they have a conversation. So throughout this battle, you know, on the outside, people are getting attacked, but on the inside, all their minds, he's just playing chess with Emrakul and ends up beating her at chess, like playing the whole game, and they're talking about love and life and like a bunch of like stuff you wouldn't really expect from this weird tentacle monster thing. And he ends up besting her, but in the end, all of his extra pieces on the table kind of turn towards his king and attack the king. And it has something to do with...
She said something like the pieces were always all mine.
Yes.
Or something like...
Yeah, that's it. That like she controls everything always, and that she is saying, I am not finished yet, but I'm not ready to go, but it's not my time, basically. Like, I don't have to, I'm not ready to leave. And through some of that, it gives this weird, it kind of begs the question whether, like, Emrakul really fought against the next thing that happens in the story.
To me, it says that she definitely didn't.
Yeah.
But one thing about this is, have you ever seen the Pixar short where the old man plays chess against himself?
Yes. I love that one.
Then and then at the end, he flips the table around and then like laughs at the face of the other guy.
Yeah.
That's basically what Emrakul did.
It's just like, yeah.
She's losing on purpose, playing the nice, and then just turns the table around.
And then flips it around and takes the teeth for herself.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's like the first short film at the beginning of Toy Story. And it's one of my favorites. Oh, God. Fuck, that's so good. Yeah, so Emrakul is an old man, and was it Sigarda is... Wait, who's our mom?
No, the mom was Tamio.
Tamio's the mom.
Because she has story magic.
Right. So Tamio's mom, and Sigarda is the old man from Pixar. No, Sigarda.
No, Emrakul.
Emrakul is Emrakul. Sigarda's nothing.
Who's uncorruptible? We need to give you someone for Sigarda.
Oh, fuck. Anyway.
But yeah, that's basically what Emrakul says. Her pieces... Jace's pieces turn on himself, and she says, the pieces were always all mine. I'm just tired of playing, or something like that.
And they kind of all come out of their stuff, and then they get a moment where, like, Jace kind of tells everyone, hey, this is what just happened. I was fucking talking to... What the fuck is the name?
Emeria.
Emrakul. I can't remember the fucking name of the tentacle monster. I always want to say Ulamog. Every time I'm trying to say it and I say Ulamog in my head. It's not
Just
Ulamog.
remember, Ulamog's like a 10-10 and Emrakul's a 15-15.
I know, but it says it's and eh. You know I have a hard time with the beginning of words.
Yeah.
Orzhov and Azorius, to name a few. But anyway.
Emeria is like the Zendikar god name for Emrakul, by the way. So
is it?
Yeah, so when Nahiri went to sleep, she basically told everyone about the Eldrazi Titans and then went to sleep. And then her teachings got lost a little bit, and they started revering them as gods. So it's like, Emeria is actually supposed to be Emrakul, and like the gods in Zendikar are actually the 3 Eldrazi Titans.
Oh.
I don't remember the names of the other 2, but so Jace is like playing chess against Emeria, the envisaged form of the god of Zendikar, who is actually Emrakul.
Oh, that's crazy. I love that land. The Emeria one, the white one, is great.
Yeah. So they're like worshipping their own demise, essentially.
Oh, that's rough. Oh, sorry, Zendikar. You really get the short end of the stick, man. They really get fucked, like, real bad.
Yeah, because Nahiri is like, wait, this isn't perfect. I'm going to zip away and exact vengeance before investigating and maybe trying to help out.
That's true. Nahiri's not the best.
So anyways, the Gatewatch comes out of their nightmare comas. I don't know, do we jump over to what's going on between Nahiri and Sorin, or do we finish the Gatewatch?
I think we finish the Gatewatch, and then let's talk about Nahiri and Sorin.
All right, so they decide, based on, I don't know, what they learned in their nightmares, they realize that the theme of this whole block, and even the block before it, has been if you can't destroy something, you need to imprison it.
Oh?
You need to set it away, like Avacyn has been doing the whole time. And so they just needed something like the Hell Vault, but the Hell Vault doesn't exist, and it wouldn't be big enough for Emrakul anyway.
Yeah,
so there's something that has the same silver properties of the Hell Vault and is big enough.
Yeah, and the Hell Vault was made of
Emrakul.
like the Hell Vault was similar to like the silver, and the silver is also from like the moon, but like I don't know.
Yeah, it's made of the silver moon, the silver from the moon of Innistrad or something.
Weird.
You know, like if only there was something big enough.
What if something was big enough to hold an Eldrazi Titan? I don't know.
Yeah.
Huh.
So, anyways, after some pontificating, I would say, they realize the moon. The moon is made of the same thing as the moon.
Whoa. Who knew?
It's also big.
That is big. That's a lot.
Yeah.
That's a lot of big. Whoa. Let's imprison Emrakul in the moon.
So they try the exact same plan, but instead of shooting fire, they try to use the energy from Nissa to imprison Emrakul in the moon.
Using Tamio, who tells a story.
Well, they tried with Nissa first, and it
okay.
doesn't fucking work because, again, the problem's the same, guys.
Yeah.
She still can't generate enough power. And then Tamio, while they're all getting fucked up by Emrakul, basically, Tamio pulls out a scroll, which was the same one that Jace saw Emrakul pull out in his nightmare.
Mm-hmm.
And just suddenly, Jace gets a surge of power and is able to imprison Emrakul.
Right. And the scroll is a spell that Tamio was saving to never use, and was like, it was really important that she never, like, used that spell for anything. It was like a huge moment. And they kind of use this thing to imprison Emrakul in the moon, and Emrakul is gone and away. And then afterwards, they're like, hey, Tamio, how'd you do that? And Tamio's like, oh, I don't really know. I used a spell I wasn't supposed to ever use, but it wasn't me. Something made me use it, and I didn't want to, but it happened. So it kind of is like the... Emrakul decided that Emrakul wanted to go to the moon.
Right. So this is Emrakul letting Jace win at chess, but she hasn't turned the pieces against them yet. And I guess Liliana's kind of doing shit this whole time as well.
Yeah.
She was like raising a zombie army and fighting, and it was like she was the last hope, but then...
Right, because she like took the oath of the Gatewatch and was like trying to help too.
But then I think she like holds Emrakul off with the chain veil while they're all in the nightmare mode.
Or also probably like fighting all the tentacle monsters with the zombies, probably. That makes sense.
Yeah, that's totally it. She's like holding off Emrakul because I think part of Jace's nightmare was like, oh, by the way, Liliana's gonna die. And then he wakes up and Liliana's all KO'd.
Gotcha. Yeah. While that is all happening, that's kind of the end of the Emrakul stuff. Emrakul has been imprisoned in the moon.
For now.
Cross your fucking fingers, Emrakul doesn't come back in the fucking
I really
wedding.
hope it's not in this return.
If the wedding gets crashed by this fucking Emrakul moon shit, it'll be so annoying.
God. But then again, it's like, when are we coming back to Innistrad if not now? So when is Emrakul coming back?
Just wait.
Are they going to wait
later.
10 years, 15 years?
Yeah, like it's just like
I mean, that'd be great for me. But
it's a bomb that's going to go off at some point, but hopefully not at the wedding. I really want something else. We're already setting up for Phyrexians and things and a lot of other stuff going on. We don't need to add Eldrazi to it right now. I think. I don't know.
But yeah, you made this point earlier, but couldn't expand on the point because we hadn't gotten to the climax yet.
Yes.
But I guess you're basically saying that Emrakul chose her chess pieces. Like, she turned half the people crazy.
And the other half had to defeat her, and they did. And that's what she wanted.
But really, they were always all her pieces, remember that?
Yes, and she wanted to be imprisoned in the moon, and she let it happen, and kind of made it happen. So ultimately, the Gatewatch fucking suck. And they do.
Much like Gristlebrand. Oh my god, there's
Yeah.
just so many, like...
Whoa, that's...
He wanted to get imprisoned in the Hellvault.
Whoa, weird. That's kind of cool. Holy shit, magic, stories, making sense. That's nuts. It also just continues to remind you that like the Gatewatch kind of suck. Like,
Yeah.
I guess they killed all the other Eldrazi. That's great, but then this is the beginning of them sucking, and then in the rest of the stories, they're just not really good.
They got real cocky after beating the first two Eldrazi. Thought they could take anyone on, and then Emrakul slaps them. Nicol Bolas slaps them.
Tezzeret slaps them. Yeah, and then they fucking have and then the War of the Spark. We might do a War of the Spark at some point, but...
Oh, that'd be so fun. Just so I can watch that trailer again.
Oh, the trailer. Yeah, if we can just talk about the trailer for that, that'd be great. I would love that. I can't read that book again. I can't do it.
Well, I'll rely on you because I'm not going to read it.
I'll literally just be like, all right.
I'll just speak to the trailer.
Yeah. Anyway, sorry. What I really want to talk about is Nahiri and Sorin, because that's really important. And that actually ties in with the War of the Spark, which we were just talking about. So,
sure does.
While this is all happening, or right after, basically, because like at this point, Olivia Valderin has felt like her allegiance with Sorin is kind of finished because she did her part. And Nahiri is fighting Sorin in the Markov Manor, and they're, trading blows, and Soren's realizing that Nahiri's a lot stronger than she used to be, and she spent a lot of time getting better in the Hellvault, which was not what he thought was going to happen.
And also getting pretty pissed, so it's like...
whenever you fight somebody and they're more pissed than you tend to have a hard time winning.
Right.
So, anyway... all this is
just
going
6,000 years of adrenaline built up.
Yeah, and basically it ends with her putting him into stone as well, and also stabbing him with some sort of blade, like hot, because she makes like these like molten rock blade things that shoot at you.
Right.
So she kind of pushed him into the stone and stabbed him with one of those things, so he wouldn't die. but he's in enough pain that he can't planeswalk away because he can't think of anything but the pain he's in is what his.
But he also, her idea was like he has to watch his plane die or whatever.
Yes.
You know, like he can still see it.
So I guess technically that was happening while Emrakul was still going on. Cause,
Yeah. She didn't know that her plan had failed.
So
yet.
then what the fuck did Olivia Voldaren do? Nothing. She just had.
No, she was just part of the vampire army that fought like the cultists.
And that's it.
And then Nahiri and Soren had their like one-on-one battle.
And then Olivia's like, okay, whatever, I'm out. All right, I feel like Olivia did fucking nothing for Innistrad, but whatever.
Well, she actually comes back and like laughs at Soren after he's turned to stone. It's like, I'm the new queen in town.
And she was like, oh, I can help you, but I'm not going to. Anyway, so he's just chilling there for a long time.
Maybe he's not her husband, actually. Isn't he still in stone as far as we know?
No, he's not in stone, and that's really important to know because he does appear in War of the Spark because somehow he gets out of stone, and we don't...
Oh, yeah, you're right.
We don't know why he or how he got out. All we know is that he was fighting Nahiri at the War of the Spark in Ravnica, but we don't know how he got out, what happened with that fight, and what's happening now. We have no clue. Because in the story in War of the Spark, their fight is like 3 sentences long. It's just like, and then also Soren and Nahiri are fighting in the sky.
By the way, they did that thing.
But they're really far away and they're having their own battle. And like, that's it. And you're like...
Hopefully he doesn't underestimate her this time, because that was his...
But like, what the fuck? So like, some people say that Soren got out of the stone because the planar beacon was pulling him to Ravnica, and so it was enough help for him to planeswalk. But we don't know for sure. It could also have been another person helped him out. We don't know. And now we're kind of at the end of the story, right? Now we're kind of doing speculation of what's going on. Is Soren really the groom? It feels like they're kind of trying to throw us off the scent, but it could be the same thing where they're like, oh, we don't know who the groom is yet, but you know it's Soren. Same as, oh, we don't know why things are going wrong with Innistrad, but you know it's Emrakul.
Right.
You know?
Although I did just think of one thing we left out. The angel amalgamation disgustingness.
Oh shit, yeah.
Bracella,
Yes.
Is that who we're talking about? Yeah, so while the Emrakul Gatewatch battle is going on, there's also kind of like the bigger war going on. Not just much like, you know, the cultists fighting the vampires and Soren and Nahiri are fighting. There's also like Emrakul's minions against Emrakul's non-minions. And Brucella's kind of the leader of the minions. And I guess this is where Arlen Cord actually factors into the story, because that was my original question. It's like, does Arlen Cord just do absolutely nothing? And I guess she kind of helps in this fight. I don't know. And Thalia's there, you know, the one who broke the Hell Vault and kind of caused all this shit. But I guess Sigarda eventually just destroys her former sisters, who have now turned into a giant blob.
That makes sense. You know,
Angels. And that's the card Sigarda's Aid when she comes in.
Oh.
She like provides the weapon or something.
That makes sense. Because that card's so good. Makes sense how it could kill a weird abomination angel amalgamation.
Yeah, that card's really good, and Bracella is really bad, so it's like...
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Yeah, it makes sense.
Yeah, but I guess that was like, Bracella was the commander of Emrakul's minions, kind of the queen, I guess, of Emrakul's minions, and Sigarda was the queen for tuck and chess of the light, and Sigarda ends up winning that battle.
Gotcha. Sick.
So she's still around. I mean, we've seen the preview, so we know.
Yeah, so we know.
She survives this war as the only one who is totally sane the whole time.
Yeah, R.I.P. the other ones. Yeah, it's weird. I guess, like... It is funny. I don't know why they brought back Leysa or like we'll find out in the story, I guess. So check out our Drunken Vorthos of whatever the story is going to be about this. We don't know what it is yet, but we're going to do one probably.
Yeah. We'll do a post set analysis.
Exactly. I think at the end, after we know the full story, we'll do one. But yeah, like. So this is also the fun thing about Drunken Vorthos for us, is that I didn't know a lot of the stuff before doing this episode. So I had to do some research, and it was tons of fun.
It was a lot of fun, yeah.
Yeah.
Especially like the original Innistrad, it's really hard to actually find information about it.
Yeah, it really is. Like, we are lucky in the day and age we're at, is that most of the sets have their little stories that go along with them. They've been kind of on and off at some points, and it kind of changes set by set event typically. But when we do get like at least a 5-story little thing, it's really nice. It's fun. Hey.
Yeah.
We do this because sometimes the game can get you down, and you're just playing cards and maybe not winning, or maybe not, things aren't going your way. The story and looking at the cards can be a lot more fun and really give you some life. So we just wanted to remind you that.
Yeah, I mean, we were talking in the break, but it reminded me of this. So, like, Anguished Unmaking is one of my go-to cards of, like, I like that card more now because I know the story.
Yeah.
Right? Originally, it's just like, oh, exile a non-land permanent, you gain 3, or you lose 3 life, Jesus. And and that now I know that's Sorin unmaking, like, his child or, like, a part of him in Avacyn. So it pains him so much, but he has to do it. And it also exiles because Avacyn was indestructible. It's just like all these things line up, and you're just like, that's a really cool design.
Yeah, you're like, that's really cool. Like, there's a lot of stuff, and they do that all the time, especially with a lot of...
Yeah.
Like, we're going to talk about...
That's a card you might not think twice about otherwise, right? Like,
and I didn't for years.
Exiles something.
I really didn't. Like, I had that, and I thought it was the same as, like, any of the other white-black cards that did stuff that was similar. But, like, you know, obviously they put a lot of work in these cards and the art and making everything fit together. And it's, you know, every once in a while it's nice to go through and be reminded of that. So that's why I like doing this. This is probably like not only the 3 beers I had right now, but the couple of drinks I had before we did the episode. It's starting to talk, but it's getting to the bro, you know, man, you know, I love you, bro, kind of talk. So,
yeah. I mean, the only hole in our research, I would say, is like we should have looked up what's the name of the 3rd Eldrazi Titan before the show, so that we could just have that, you know, nailed down. I'll send that article to you. You know.
Oh my God, I don't know why I had such a hard time with that. It doesn't matter. It's Ulamog, right? Ulamog's the one?
You got it. You nailed it.
Oh, no, wait. It's Kozilek. Kozilek's the one that comes to Innistrad. Is that the one?
It's Emra Kulamog.
Emra Kulamog. Anyway, that is our Drunken Vorthos for the Innistrad backstory. I hope you enjoyed it.
For those of you Innistrad superfans out there that are like, I can't believe they didn't mention this, this, and this, we'll get to it later, but please let us know.
Yeah, please let us know, but we probably won't get to it later. All right, I'm going to down this and let's go to a beer review. Right, our last call.
Well, we have one more.
We have to. Well, we have a last call, so we gotta drink another one.
That's right, last call.
Wow, I'm way more drunk than you this episode. This is bad. This is bad news. Alrighty, Jeff, which beer do we have for last call?
All right, our last call beer is Corona Extra.
That's right. Which I'm pretty sure there's no Corona regular.
Not extra?
Yeah.
I think it's like Coronita, like it refers to the size of the beer. So this is a tall boy, so it's Corona Extra. And then like a bottle is Corona, and then the mini bottles are Coronita.
Is that true? Interesting.
You know what I mean?
Oh, interesting.
I think it's all the same beer, but it like refers to how much beer you're getting.
Huh.
But I'm also just making that up right now, kind of.
Perfect.
So
that's what we've been doing.
I don't want to like ruin our 100% accuracy rating.
Yeah, I was gonna say we've been doing that for the whole fucking episode. So what, whatever. Obviously, Corona is from Mexico. It's 4.6%, and it was founded in 1925.
Obviously.
We just wanted to keep our oldest to newest thing for our Silver Series. I thought that'd be fun.
Yeah, of course. That's just how we do Silver Series. Mm-hmm. Of course.
Why would you think otherwise?
Yeah.
I also have a lime wedge for myself. because I always drink Coronas with a lime. I'm tasting it a little bit without it just to get those flavors, but I'm probably going to add the lime because that's how it should be drank, I guess. That's what I think.
I came unprepared. I had no lime in my fridge, so Zach chose this beer, but he didn't put lime on the grocery list. So
Yeah, my bad. Sorry about it. We are rating these beers right now, right in front of your ears. And we are putting them, we have 4 beers and we have 4 slots. There's silver 1 through 4. 4 is the worst, 1 is the best. And each beer in each section gets points, I guess, to make it really confusing, the opposite of what it is. So
inversely proportional to it.
yes. So if
Hey,
it is,
blame Arena, man. If Silver 4 was the highest tier of silver in Arena, this would be very easy.
you're right. You were very right. So silver 1 beer gets 4 points, silver 2 gets 3, silver 3 gets 2, and silver 4 gets 1. And then whichever beer gets the most points wins the night, and we'll move on to the gauntlet or whatever at some point. Whenever that is. I don't know.
However we decide to do that, maybe first and second we'll move on. I don't know. Whatever we said.
I don't know. I'm pretty sure. Well, last time Bud Light won for sure. So we will, depending on how much you want Labatt Blue to also move on, we'll figure that out. But
Well, I'm just thinking, how many of these do we do to have a real bracket?
that's true. We don't really know yet, so don't hold us accountable to anything.
If this is like European football, we're in the group stage and usually the top 2 move on. Mm-hmm. Then there's like a wild card or something. I guess American football does that too.
That's true. That's true. All right. I'm adding my lime right now to my beer because it's time.
Okay.
I drank a good amount.
So
of it.
Zach is going to have 5 tiers. One for
Yeah.
Corona and one for Corona with lime.
With lime. Yeah. I think the lime will be just like it's kind of a cheat. It's almost like a Belgian moon or a blue moon if you're American, like me, with an orange. And I really don't like having blue moon without an orange. Corona is similar. So I tend to consider it a part of the beer, but as I'm going to rate it, I'll probably consider it without that in it.
Okay, so you've made a decision. You're just adding the lime now to enjoy the beer.
Yes, I'm adding the lime to enjoy the beer, but I know I'm going to rate it on what the beer actually is because, if you wanted lime in it, you should have fucking just put lime in it.
Yeah, like Bud Light Lime, right?
Yeah, because that's superior to other beers. All right, here we go. For Silver 4, what do you have, Jeff? What's your Silver 4 beer?
Okay. Don't want to be that guy, but I have Corona.
Wow, okay.
Yeah, that's my Silver 4.
All right. I see that.
Sorry, Corona Extra.
Oh, extra, right. With or without the lime?
Without. I actually dunked a lemon in it because I didn't have any lime. And it's horrible, so yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's because lemons
Easy
are
Silver
horrible.
4.
So, just kidding. Lemons are not horrible. I do like them. They're just not better than limes.
Well, you're wrong about that.
Yeah. So my Silver 4 changed throughout the episode. I really had one pegged, like 100% pegged. And
Yeah, we all know it was Heineken. But
yeah, I was 100% putting Heineken here. But turns out it's Sapporo. That beer is not awesome. I have been trying to drink that.
when there's
recently.
no sushi and soy sauce involved.
Yeah,
you
maybe
have to
that's
drink
it.
the Sapporo.
I think every Sapporo I've had recently just tasted. It's the same taste as like the fucking PBRs we had the other Silver Series, where it just tastes dusty. It's like there's a weird something in it that tastes bad, and I don't like it. So yeah. Let's go back and forth. So my Silver 3.
Okay.
I'll do
We'll
my
like
Silver
snake
3.
draft this bit.
Yeah. It works better that way. This is actually hard. Let me taste this again.
Okay, now mentally take the lime flavor out.
Out. Oh, this is rough.
Because I know you just love lime.
It might have changed, man. I don't know what happened. I'm gonna say Corona. This is crazy.
Ooh, yeah.
This is crazy. I don't even know what's happening to me right now. What's your Silver 3?
So this is interesting because, without a doubt, for this one, it's Sapporo. I didn't really like that beer. The same reaction you had. I was like, oh, I don't know about this.
Yeah.
So Silver 3 for me is Sapporo.
It's Sapporo. Yeah, I always thought I liked Sapporo, but I've been drinking it recently and it's not great.
Honestly, for me, Sapporo and like Corona had basically that same taste of like,
Yeah.
whatever. But Sapporo had like a little more alcohol content, so it got the nod.
Gotcha. I wonder if, because the Corona didn't have the same dust taste that I'm talking about with Sapporo, but like Corona, I also have some fond memories, and the lime ritual is, I do like, it's not even just the taste of the lime, but it's the fact that you get a thing to do, and you always get a bottle in a bar, and you can put the lime in and stick your thumb on the top and flip it upside down, and the lime moves, and like that's part of the fun of it.
No, that's a real thing. Like, why do you think rituals are such a big part of humanity? It's
Yeah.
like a psychological thing.
So they did build that in, and they did a good job, but I don't think they did a good enough job to make me think the beer is actually really good. But I do, I will probably pick up Corona more often than some of the other ones, but just because of that. But I don't
Depends
think
how
the beer's
often
actually
you
good.
eat sushi.
Yeah. So your silver 2, you are up. What's your silver
Yeah.
2?
It's Heineken. You know, Heineken is what it is. It's not great, but it's fine.
I agree. Heineken is also my silver 2, which I was expecting it to be my silver 4. I really
Right.
did think it was going to be the worst, but after I had the first sip, I was like, wow, this doesn't... Usually I think Heineken is being kind of skunky, and like it's that type of beer that I don't always like, but I liked it. That was weird.
I think if I had to guess coming into this, I would have had Sapporo rated above Heineken. And now that I actually like tasted them back to back, even I was just like, oh no.
That's exactly how I felt too, because I was 100% like Heineken's gonna be the worst. I'm gonna like Sapporo probably second, and then Corona. But I knew coming into this that silver 1 was gonna be Stella, because
Yeah, and it didn't disappoint.
yeah, it did not disappoint. We had it first, but I love Stella. It's definitely one of the ones I've had a lot. Like if I go to a bar and they have Stella and they have the chalices, I like having the chalice. It's nice. There's a reason it's been around for fucking 600
Yeah, I
plus
was gonna say
years
you
or
could
whatever.
taste 650 years of flavor. You know?
Yeah. So Stella is the real deal, man. Like
I think it's the front runner for the whole Silver Series competition.
I
Honestly,
really
so
think it's the one that can push ahead. Like
I'm excited to taste it back to some of the other winners at some point.
yeah, that'll be really fun. Because ultimately we want this to be like, what's the best camping beer? Now, it is hard because I don't know if Stella is the camping beer I would want.
It's only 5%.
Not just that, but like I always like Stella poured into a glass, and I usually drink camping beers out of a beer as a bottle out of a can. But Stella is, it's the one that could be pushed up into gold,
Yeah, I could see that.
and get an honorary platinum as far as like how often I buy it, because it's definitely the one that I like and my fiance likes a lot as well. So I'm happy that we agreed on this. Stella gets a full 8 points, which is the highest it could get. And then Heineken got a 6.
Surprising 6 points.
Yeah, I was really thinking it was going to get like 4, but hey, change of heart, I guess. And then Sapporo and Corona are,
But I'm also glad that like when I drank the Heineken after the Stella, I was like, oh yeah, well the Stella's obviously better for me. Like
yeah.
obviously everyone's different, but my brain wasn't tricking me when it told me that I liked Stella better than Heineken.
Exactly. Like I had a Stella and then drank a Heineken, and it wasn't. I don't know if it was like something from the Stella took over the skunkiness that I always feel like I taste from a Heineken.
There was still some Stella on your tongue. So
Maybe.
the Heineken tasted better.
But Heineken was significantly better than I was remembering, and so.
I mean, Heineken has the green bottles, right? So it can get skunked. But I guess Corona also has that issue.
Well, yeah,
Doesn't block all the sunlight.
yeah, is the idea, but like, I don't know. Of all these, I was surprised Sapporo was the worst. I really didn't. Didn't you say you used to work at a sushi restaurant, right?
Yeah.
And you.
Yeah, there was a guy from Japan there, and he was a young guy. I was in my early 20s. He was probably in his mid 20s. He was one of the chefs there, and he was telling me that basically in Japan, Sapporo's thought of as kind of the old man beer. Like, him and his friends wouldn't go out and order a Sapporo. It would be, I don't know what the equivalent is here, but like the thing the old guys always order and stick to that and never order anything new. And that's kind of their image there. And that's why they started marketing internationally and had all these like cool, really cool commercials and stuff to make you think, oh, this is the hip, cool Japan beer. And it's like, he's like, no, we don't drink that there, really.
Which makes sense now, because I'm like,
Yeah.
when you told me that story originally, I was like, really? I think Sapporo's pretty good. And now it's like, no, that beer is not good. And there have been a couple times where I've had it and I felt like there was something off with the actual can. Nope, it's just the beer is not, it's not good. I don't like it. I'll drink it because it's beer. And it's not like, it's not bronze, but like, it might be, you know, it's on par with PBR, you know.
You have it at Silver 4, that makes sense.
Yeah, exactly.
That's where you put PBR, so.
Exactly, that's how I feel about it. We are coming to closing time.
Closing time.
Oh, you give me the song. That's so nice. We haven't had the song.
I haven't done it in a while.
I know, it's good. If you want to talk to us about your favorite silver beers or what you feel, how you think Sapporo is better than we think, you can always reach us at Arena Regulars on Twitter and Instagram.
Or, hey, if we missed anything in the Innistrad story, let us know. You can also find us on MTG Arena under the username Arena Regulars Podcast.
If you want to talk to me personally about, I don't know, whatever, you can find me at Zulberg, that's Zeulberg on Twitter and Instagram. But Jeff, where can they find you?
Find me at Blues Brews MTG on Twitter, spelled like it sounds.
Also, we'd love it if you just gave us a review on Apple Podcast, iTunes. Follow us on all the places that you are listening to us right now. All of that engagement really helps a lot with the podcast, and also just, you know, our mental state. We'd like to know if you like us. It helps. This has been the Arena Regulars.
Putting you in the Hell Vault. We'll let you out in a week.
Good night. All right, that's fine.